Claudette is going to introduce today's program.
And I'm going to do short and sweet because these are really, really nice people. I'm excited that we've got Barry and Kathryn Thalden here, and they are going to talk about New Spirit Village. And as having been in the real estate business for over 30 years, and I won't tell you how many over, finding homes for first time home buyers is not easy. It's very, very difficult. So I'm excited to invite Barry and Kathryn to come up and tell us about what they're doing at New Spirit Village, the foundations, et cetera, et cetera. Their bio's terrific. If you want to see it after the meeting, come and see me. And glad you're back, Greg.
Can you hear me? Yes. Well, thank you. First of all, I'm Kathryn. This is Barry. And we want to thank you for your invitation to speak with you today. I have to confess, I didn't know much about Rotary until we spoke to the Ashland Rotary a couple of months ago. And I was so impressed with the hearts of the people there and the amazing projects that you're accomplishing. So kudos to you. And now we would like to introduce you to New Spirit Village and what's going on right here in your community. Did you hit it? Oh, okay. We all know about the Alameda wildfire in 2020, where about 2,600 homes were tragically lost and people lost everything they owned. Families ended up in hotels with no hope in sight. And so one morning I was sitting in silence and the image of some of these families came to me in hotels, crowded, no way to cook your own food, and kids trying to do homework on Zoom, and just an awful situation. And I had not seen much replacement housing going on yet. And I thought, well, why doesn't somebody build replacement housing? And then it hit me, oh, it's up to us to do. With Barry as an architect, and he had a tremendous opportunity to build communities across the nation at one point. His firm did. And I was a landscape architect and was very familiar with design and construction. So it made sense that we would take this on. We also had started a foundation in 1998. And even though we put money aside in the foundation and gave away some, the bulk of it we reserved because we knew that at some point in the future, a project was coming and we would need a lot of money to accomplish it. But we had no idea what that was. And it hit me that morning. This is it. This is the project we've been waiting for all these years. So this is located on Main or close to Main with it. Everybody seems to know Blackbird. So if you go up and across to the right, Blackbird's right there. And then come over to Lozier Lane, come over, Barry, to the left. There's a Thunderbird grocery store. So it's located between those two stores and then just a little bit to the right. It's 6 acres and it's right next to Lewis Park. We located it there because there was walking distance to grocery stores, restaurants, and fast food, drugstores, sports equipment, pet store, bank, garden shop, dollar store, and bus stops to downtown Medford, Ashland, and Jacksonville. So even if you just had one car family or no car, you would still have access to a lot of services. It was also located right next to Lewis Park, which is a 6-acre park that has ball courts, walking path and track, playground, nature area, and in the future, community gardens and picnic shelter. So we thought that was just perfect for families to have a nice park like that right next door. The project itself is a 6-acre site. There will be 87 single-family owner-occupied homes with private walkable streets, outdoor play area, community gardens, and it's adjacent to the 8-acre Lewis Park. The total project cost is $28 million. And here is a rendering of the project.
This is the site plan of the project. On the left-hand border is Lozier, and just off the screen to the north is West Main. And then the street at the bottom is Meadows Lane. That's our entrance street. You can see our main drive that winds through the project and continues on to Lewis Park, where we're putting in a public street, Vic Lane, which connects to 8th Street. All of the other streets that are in the development are all cul-de-sacs, so that most of the people will be living on cul-de-sacs. All of the streets are private streets, and all of the homes are arranged around mostly cul-de-sac streets. And these are slow walkable streets. The speed limit through New Spirit Village is 10 miles per hour. So I want you to close your eyes for a second and visualize in your mind what you visualize as low-income housing. You got the picture? Okay, it probably looks just like this. This is low-income housing. This, our target market is people from 65 to 80% of median income. So, you know, we're talking about significantly below median income. This is low income housing. As you can see, our streets are unique. They're cobblestone character streets with adjacent sidewalks. There are no curbs and gutters. And all of the front porches are immediately adjacent to the sidewalks, like 2 feet away, so that people can talk to their neighbors, so that people can get to know their neighbors, watch each other's kids as they play in the street. And that's really the concept here, with charming, multicolored houses, each one separate and unique. So there's 6 real issues here that we wanted to relate as being innovative. One is community-driven design. The second is a safe, livable community. The third is low cost. The fourth is home ownership. The fifth is permanent affordability. And finally, energy efficient construction. So we're going to talk about each of those sorts of things.
As Barry said, this is a community-driven design, which means that we wanted to bring in the users to find out what they wanted. What we might design for affordable housing could be very different than what they needed. So we brought groups together and asked them, what do you see? What is your dream? What do you need in an affordable community? And then everybody got to vote. As you see on the right upper, they got dots and voted for the issues that they felt were most important, so that we could follow that in the design and give them what they needed. We also invited social service agencies into the design process. We've had over 20 social service agencies that have joined us every other week since the spring of 22 to work through issues, to give us ideas, to give us feedback, and help us through this project, because we needed lots of help. Social service agencies such as United Way, Access, Habitat for Humanity, and many others that every other week we would have between 12 and 20 people on the call to help us through this. So that's been tremendous in the design and development of this project. We wanted a safe and livable community. It was modeled after 9th Street Alley in Ashland. I don't know if you've ever been there, but the first time I drove through that, I went, oh, I love this. It just immediately felt like a community when you drove in. and your car went to 5 miles an hour just naturally because you wanted to enjoy it. It really slowed you down, and it was just a slower pace that you felt through the whole community, and a real love of being there.
So I want to talk about costs, which is what everybody wants to talk about. Well, how much do these houses cost? Well, as we know, housing is expensive. In Medford, the average sale price is $416,000 and going up. The new house prices in Medford start at $500,000 and going up. So we're delivering houses for one bedroom, $185,000, two bedroom from 208 to 222, and a three bedroom for $235,000. As you can see on the right, the appraised values are significantly greater than the prices of these houses. So that allows for no money down. That is, the mortgage companies will provide a mortgage for up to 80% of appraised value. So that number is higher than our purchase price. So people can purchase for the mortgage alone, no money down. Their payments are anywhere from $1,400 to $1,700. That's cheaper than rent. So people say, well, how do you do this? Well, here's how we've done it. First, we've gotten $5.5 million in grant funding, mostly from the state, but also from United Way, Oregon Community Foundation. Thank you very much. Medford Housing Opportunity Fund, and from our own foundation, as Kathryn described. And second, this is a not-for-profit project. And Kathryn and I are the developers, and there's no development fee. And so, you know, we don't have project management. We don't have overhead. We don't have marketing. We're doing all of that ourselves. So normally that's 20% of a cost of a house. That's not here. We have reduced construction financing costs and lower commissions. People's Bank is giving us construction money at prime rate. And all the home sales are being made at a flat realtor fee. That's a fixed fee. So the big items really are site planning efficiencies and construction efficiencies. So think about this. This is high density housing. This is 15 homes per acre. So when you think of a normal subdivision with quarter-acre lots, we're building 4 times that many houses in the same space, 4 times as many houses on the same streets and utilities. So the savings there is, you know, probably, you know, we're saving 73% of that cost. And these are all private streets, as I mentioned, with no curbs and gutters. And, you know, the normal street right of way is 63 feet. Think about how much land that takes up. Our streets and sidewalks are 23 feet edge to edge. So a lot of the savings is just in the design of how we've created this. So let's talk about home ownership, because it's something that seems to be escaping so many people these days. This is a way for people to break through multi-generational poverty, because at the end of renting for 20 years, you have nothing. So here you own your own home. It gives you the pride of ownership, and it really brings forth the American dream. Again, no money down. And payments, think about payments, $1,440 to $1,700. I mean, that's what people are paying in rent. And that rent is going to go up every year. You know, 10 years from now, those rents are going to be 50% higher. Not here. They're still paying the same mortgage. One of the things we were concerned about is permanent affordability, because an experience that Habitat for Humanity has had is people buying their homes where there's been donated products and donated labor, et cetera. And they buy them for a low price. And then 3 to 5 years, they flip them to somebody at market rate and gain all the profit. And that home is now back in the market. This won't happen here. All of these homes sit on land trust land. Each lot is in a land trust with an agreement with the homeowner that they will sell at a fixed, formulated, affordable price. So the first homeowner gets the advantage of getting out everything that they put into it, plus some of the appreciation. But the next homeowner also gets it at an affordable price. These are our floor plans. They're very efficiently designed. The one bedroom is only 626 square feet. Our 3-bedroom is 1,088. So I just want to tell you, this process is not easy. The process of getting through everything that we've gone through, the land purchase, 501c3, site development process, dealing with the city, funding and financing, and working with a whole slew of advisors. It's been a very complicated process. It's taken us 4 years to get where we are, but we're rolling. This is our grand opening on August 1st of last year. And Governor Kotek was gracious enough to come to our grand opening and talk about housing and the need for it. And both of our senators have taken tours and have commented about this as being a great pilot project, both for the state and for the country. So here's some photographs of New Spirit Village. We have 18 homes completed, including 4 display homes. And you can see up in the right, little vest pocket park that Kathryn has designed. And here's the interiors of our displays. Our display houses are completely furnished, just like somebody lives there and went grocery shopping and you get to walk through it. And as Kathryn was talking about, you know, these fire victim families, many of which are home buyers, had very little to begin with, and then they had nothing. And then they've been trying to live reasonable lives and keep their kids in school, keep their jobs. And this was our first family to move in, Ryan and Whitney, with their 2 little girls. So our objective is changing people's lives. If you think about it, okay, we're building 87 houses. So that's not just 87 families that are moving up in the world. Those 87 families, that, you know, that's probably 300 people, 87 families. And those 300 people are moving out of apartments or trailers, making those apartments available for 300 people that might be in shelters, that have jobs, that can afford apartments, but there's none available. So they're moving up, opening up 300 shelter beds for people that might be sleeping on the street or in parks to move into shelters. So the overall effect of this project could actually impact 600 to 800 people. So we think that home ownership is one of the big solutions to the housing issue across the board.
I would like to say that if you'd like to see these up front and personal, the Realtor has an open house every Saturday from 12 to 2, and you can walk through the model homes and see them for yourself. Okay, Mr. Rogers. And now this over. Did you want to? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Questions. Okay, Peter. Peter's got a question. Let's get a mic over to Peter. Here it comes behind you.
You folks are unusually public spirited and generous. But to do this at scale, this sort of has to work for other people. That is for a, let's just say a normal developer. Could this be done by somebody who wanted, let's not, we don't need to imagine the worst, most avaricious developer, but could a normal developer do this? And what kind of pricing would happen then?
Good question, Peter. Any developer could do what we've done if they have a commitment to make this happen. Obviously, we've got some grant funding, which is sometimes available from various agencies and state, and that's been very helpful. But it does take some skills to put this together. But it's the same kind of skills that developers have that are building housing, and they have those skills. They can do that and get through the process. It takes a lot of cooperation. In some cases that we've got some, and in other cases we didn't get much cooperation from agencies, this city and whatever. But those hurdles just have to be met. And so it's not much different than regular housing. But the keys, as I pointed out, to making this happen at cost and at scale is design, which is critical, density, which is critical, and which also takes the appropriate zoning. This site is zoned for 15 to 20 units per acre. And so those are the kinds of qualities that it takes, and just fighting the battles through.
Thank you guys so much. Fighting the battles through, that was my question. Is I was curious when I didn't see any storm drains or sidewalks or anything like that. How did you get that through the city of Medford? And did they reduce their SDC fees for you?
Okay, good questions. First question, storm drains and curbs and gutters. I have a philosophy about that. The cities seem to have two conflicting ordinances. One is that they want curbs and gutters, which is the fastest way to get water downstream. And then they want you to detain water so it doesn't get downstream so fast. Okay, so we do have storm drainage. It's in the middle of our streets. So the streets are all sloped towards the center line of the street. And there's grates there that pick it up in a pipe underneath, which is a detention pipe, which is corrugated. And then we do have a detention pond, which we're delivering that to detain the water. And so that's how the curbs and gutters work. And then you had a second question about
SDC fees can be a killer on new construction.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you guys, I am thrilled this is coming because we really, really need it for our families. That they earn a living wage, so they make 70 or 80,000 a year, but they can't afford to buy, especially if they've got a car payment at all. So
I do want to address the issue of SDCs. The SDCs total on this project for all the various agencies that SDCs go for. I don't know if you know about SDCs, but they're system development charges. That is, they charge us so that they could expand the systems for sewer systems and water systems and all of that. The total cost of that on this project is $1.5 million. They have not reduced those fees one dime. And one of those fees is for affordable housing. And we have to pay it. So, but on the other hand, I have to say that we have received a grant from the city of Medford for their Housing Opportunity Fund. So that is in part offsetting some of that. So yes and no.
Question as far as the potential residents, what kind of qualification process do they need to go through?
The residents come to us first through Access. Many of them go to Access first. And they have a process that they put them through on learning about home ownership and how to care for your home and all kinds of financial information. And then they go to Proud Ground, which is the land trust we have been working with, and they have a further process for everyone to go through. So there's a long time, a long process to go through before you qualify for home ownership. And those that stick with it are the ones who get to own the homes. No, it's also for single people and families. Yeah.
Hey, back there, back here. You guys are amazing. Thanks very, very much for being here. I've driven by and it's remarkable. You've done so much for a part of our community that need a lot of help. So thanks very much. I might be confusing projects. Been a couple years, but did you originally want to do this construction with poured concrete? It was really interesting to me, the process. So the smiles on your face maybe tell me that I'm remembering correctly. So maybe sorry to talk about something that didn't go well, but just curious about that.
We originally conceived that we were going to build these houses using 3D concrete printing. And there are two barriers that really prevented us or changed our mind. One is that we were working with a city that was very challenging just to do normal construction. We have not asked for a single variance, and it's taken us 4 years to get where we're at. And so probably not the right city to do an experiment. And secondly, the state of that technology has really not come very far. There's only one company that we think in the United States that does it well. They're in Austin, Texas. They've just done a new community there, which we visited. It's brilliant. It's wonderful. It's coming, but not ready for Medford yet.
In your bullets, you had noted that you built these little houses to be energy efficient. What are the things that you implemented to do that? And did you go through like an Earth Advantage certification or do any blower door tests to check their efficiency?
Yes, and yes, and yes. One of the people that sits in on our Wednesday group calls on Zoom is with the Oregon Energy Commission, and she has been guiding us on things that we can do. These houses are very tight in terms of their construction. We do have recirculating systems that take advantage of the temperatures that we're creating. And so the houses, by the way, are also solar ready. We are not doing solar panels, but the roofs are solar ready. So anybody that wants to do solar can. We're doing EV charger receptacles on the driveways of every house. And so we've taken a number of things into account in that regard.
Let's give them one more round of applause. Stay up here. Barry and Kathryn, thank you so much for your presentation today.